That bag was pretty, however, it did shed like crazy. The hair was just like poof, 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 going everywhere. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Here on my channel we mainly speak about luxury designer handbags, and today I thought it's time to talk about the handbags I have sold and why. Maybe it's gonna help somebody out there to make a decision in terms of which bags to buy and which bags not to buy. So yeah, I hope that you think this is helpful. There are a couple of handbags on my list and some of them I've sold multiple times, so I didn't learn the first time around. Okay, let's start today. So first of all, I would really like to know what kind of bags you have sold in the past, why you have sold them, what your reasons were, and yeah, that would be really great. Okay, so today we start with Louis Vuitton. And most of the bags I have sold in the past were actually from that brand. And I think it all did happen around, I think 4 years ago, when I was looking at my handbag collection and evaluating it, and I just put all the bags on my bed and I was staring at them and I was thinking, you know what? Like the little nice pops of color here and there, they were all drowning in the sea of brown Louis Vuitton canvas pieces. So at that point I decided that my collection wasn't balanced and that I had to let go of a couple of bags for different reasons. The first bag I did sell, and that's the only one I regret since, and I do want to repurchase that one, is the Louis Vuitton Alma. I had it in a PM size. It was a beautiful piece from 1996 and it had these golden, beautiful honey patina, and I didn't have to worry about it in the rain. Nothing ever happened, it didn't stain, it was just perfect. But yeah, for whatever reason I had decided that that bag had to go as well, and I have regretted it ever since. I've been looking for other vintage bags from around the same year, couldn't find anything that was in that kind of excellent condition, and yeah, so I decided to repurchase it now and just get it new from the store. Okay, next up is my love-hate relationship with the Neverfull. Let's take a moment. I have had 3 Neverfulls and I have sold every single one of them. Will I ever learn? I don't know. I sometimes catch myself thinking about getting my Neverfull number 4. Just because I think it's such a practical bag, it's a comfortable bag, I just don't like the look of it. Whenever I started with a Neverfull GM in the regular monogram canvas, and I was carrying that bag every single day for probably 1.5 years straight. It was my my university bag while I was still doing my bachelor's degree, and I did enjoy carrying it. After a while I noticed how big that bag is and that it didn't look nice on my body frame. So I did sell it at some point. Then I repurchased a Neverfull MM, so one size smaller, in the Damier Ebene canvas with the beautiful rose ballerine lining. And that one I probably carried for a year as well. Didn't like the look of it. Again, I just think, the Neverfull doesn't come with a lot of bells and whistles and it's just a very plain canvas bag. And I think the more I look at it, the more I get bored of it. I knew I needed that bag because I can just fit everything in. A laptop fits in there easily. You can fill it up to the brim and it's never full. That's why it's called Neverfull, haha. But yeah, so I decided to sell the second one as well. Then I quickly regretted that and I purchased the same bag again. That was my third Neverfull. Same one. Damier Ebene, rose ballerine lining, and I made the decision again after a while to sell it because whenever I put it next to all the other bags in my collection I was like, you know, it doesn't look great, it doesn't go with my aesthetic. I don't know what it is. When I bought my third one, actually, what I bought to go with it was a Fendi Back Charm Monster, and it was in like the kind of same baby pinkish color. If I find a picture I will put it up here. And so I thought maybe that's, you know, finally what's making the bag a little bit more special for me personally. But yeah, didn't help. Then the story with the Speedy is pretty similar to my Neverfull story. The first ever Speedy that I bought was my third ever bag, and it was a Speedy 30 in the Damier Ebene canvas with a red interior lining. And for me personally, the Speedy 30 is just too big. It slouches so easily. I had to have a back shaper in it. But then again, I still didn't like the proportions of the bag. Also, what I finally found out is I'm just not a Damier Ebene girl. I don't like the look. I know the Damier Ebene was the first canvas that Louis Vuitton actually released and that the monogram came afterwards. But I personally do not feel drawn towards the Damier Ebene canvas. And that's why I have, at the moment, I have no Damier Ebene, no Damier Azur pieces in my collection. I sold all of them and I only own monogram at the moment. I then sold my Speedy 30, got a Speedy 25 in the monogram canvas. Loved that one, but after a while I actually noticed that the bag was not symmetrical. So where you have the LV signs and the stars basically on the canvas and how they were stitched onto the bag, how the handles were stitched onto the bag, it looked a little bit angled. So it was slightly angled, and once I saw it I could not unsee it. So I think for me that bag just wasn't perfect anymore. And I mean, we all do know about Louis Vuitton's quality issues nowadays. I can tell you a story about my Cannes bag, but another time. So I did sell that and repurchased the same again. So right now I have a Speedy 25 in monogram canvas in my collection. I'm very happy with it. It's perfectly made and I will not let that one go. Okay, then the last bag from Louis Vuitton that I have sold was the Louis Vuitton Kensington bag, and I've sold that one pretty recently. I wasn't using it anymore. Like, I wasn't even reaching for it in probably 3 to 4 years. I wasn't excited about it. I did like the look of it in terms of it's a very classic chic bag. It has a nice little golden V at the front. However, you know, I didn't plan outfits around it. I wasn't like excited to take the bag out, and whatever I do when I see myself falling out of love with a handbag is I force myself to take it out like 2-3 more times, and if I still not enjoy carrying it, then I'm ready to let it go. Okay, there's one more bag from Louis Vuitton actually that I almost forgot about, and I found in one of the vintage shops here, because I go vintage pre-loved bag hunting whenever I can. So I found a beautiful vintage Louis Vuitton bag in like an emerald forest green vernis leather, which is the patent leather, the shiny leather, and it did look like this. And I enjoyed carrying it. I even carried that one as like a work bag when I didn't have to carry a laptop every single day, and it was pretty practical. You couldn't close it up or anything, but I don't know, I really did enjoy it. But however, I was looking again at my collection at some point and I thought, you know what, it's not really forming a symbiosis with all the other bags in my collection. So I know that I'm drawn towards green bags and I do like them. I had one other green bag on my list that I'm going to talk to you about that I sold. But green bags just don't go with the overall look of my handbag collection, and for whatever reason I'm very OCD. When I see my entire collection, it needs to look like it forms one picture, it forms one image, and yeah, the green pops didn't work for that. Moving on to Dior. So I did sell 2 Dior bags. And that was, the first one was the large Lady Dior in like a leopard print on pony hair. So that bag was pretty, however, it did shed like crazy. The hair was just like poof, 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 going everywhere. And I thought, yeah, that's too annoying. Whenever I was wearing a coat in the winter and I was just carrying the bag and the bag was like, you know, rubbing against your body while you were walking, my entire coat was like attracting the tiny little pony hairs like crazy, and they were everywhere, so I decided like that's not for me. Also, I have one rule that I'm following, and that is not to have the same bag in the same size in different styles. So what's okay for me, if you have seen my Lady Dior size comparison, I'm a big fan of the Lady Dior, so I'm okay with having like the Lady Dior in different sizes. I'm even thinking about adding a fourth one to my collection, which is the Nano Lady Dior. You can go and look at my wish list video if you're interested in that. So it's absolutely fine for me to have the same bag in different sizes, but I do not want to have the same bag in the same size in different styles, if that makes sense. So that is one rule that I try to follow, to give my collection a little bit more variety. Then I did have a very beautiful python skin saddle bag, and that one I really liked. I did get it before the hype of the saddle bag came about, before the saddle bag was brought back by Dior. So I got my python skin Dior saddle bag for £290 in a pre-loved shop. How amazing is that? So like nowadays the python skin bags, the exotic skin bags, they go for like 5, 6, 7,000 pounds if you buy them new in store. So I was pretty happy that I did find that one. I was carrying it for quite a while, but I'm not a fan of bags who can't stand up on their own, because I like to look at all the bags in my cabinet, and if the bag doesn't stand up on its own, it's kind of, I don't know, it's like a no deal thing for me. The longer you look at it, the more you see a liver or kidney shaped bag, not a saddle bag. So I think I just, you know, my time with the saddle bag was over. Also, I think that the prices for the saddle bag have probably peaked right now, because I don't think that the popularity of the saddle bag will go on like this for many more years. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think the saddle bag will be a classic like the Lady Dior, like the Chanel classic flap forever? Or do you think the popularity will decrease again? So yeah, I ended up selling that one also because I got a big profit on it, and I was like, yeah, I have other wish list bags that I want to get, so here's my saddle bag. Moving on to Chanel, I did only ever sell one Chanel bag from my personal collection, and that was my Chanel Gabrielle in the medium size in the hobo style, and it was a tweed bag. It came in this beautiful black, orange, brownish tweed, and I did like the look of it, even though orange is not my color at all. So I don't know why I was drawn to it, but I noticed after only wearing that bag for very few times that the pilling on the back of the bag was absolutely horrible. The tweed was wearing horribly. You had a lot of pilling going on, and it did look bad. And I didn't wear it that often, so I don't know why that tweed was such bad quality, because I can't imagine that Chanel's tweed jackets have the same problem, because you pay thousands and thousands of pounds for their clothing, and I can't imagine that happening to the jackets or the skirts that easily and that quickly. So I guess that my tweed bag was just really bad quality, and I ended up selling it. Moving on to two more Gucci bags. I had two Gucci Dionysus bags, and I mean, I don't know why I was drawn towards them in the first place. Like I said in my last video, I absolutely do not like silver or ruthenium hardware at all. It has to, like, a bag has to be really special for me to consider it if it has silver hardware. I do have, once I get my Gabrielle Hobo, I do have two bags that have both gold and silver, which is my Gabrielle backpack and my Gabrielle medium-sized classic bag. And I think for me it's fine if I know that the bag still has some gold hardware, but a bag that's entirely constructed with silver hardware is, yeah, you know, I've never felt excited about silver hardware. So first of all, I did have the Gucci Dionysus in the super mini size, in like the red velvet, and yeah, everybody was making fun of me. Like, everyone. You couldn't even fit your phone into that tiny little bag. I know that the Gucci Super Mini Maman bag is a little bit more slouchy, so you could actually, I think, fit a phone in it, but my Dionysus was very structured and, you know, it couldn't hold anything. It could hold your card holder and a lipstick and maybe your keys, and that was it. So yeah, sold that one pretty quickly because I had to agree with everybody else that that bag was a little bit ridiculous. So yeah, then I got the Dionysus in the beautiful military wood green velvet in the small size, and I thought it was really beautiful, and I was carrying that for a while as an everyday bag. And I did like it. I did like how the velvet was wearing in comparison to my Maman. I think the velvet on the Maman is wearing a lot faster than the velvet on the Dionysus. But nevertheless, it had silver hardware. It did have like a lot of crystals at the front, and I thought maybe that's making it a little bit more special. Maybe that's why I'm drawn towards it. But yeah, no, it didn't work out. Whenever I was looking at all the bags in my cabinet, I was like, my eyes stopped at the Dionysus, and I was like, you don't belong here. So I just decided to let it go to hopefully a better home where somebody really appreciates it. So yeah, let me check. I think that was everything. Yes, that was everything. So let me know what bags you have sold and why, and also if you have any other questions, please let me know in the comment section down below. If you like that video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I see you guys soon. Bye!